What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Big Honker podcast. Hopefully everybody's made it through hunting season in one piece. We are now into the off season. This podcast is brought to you by none other than Double T British Kennels. Mr. Corey has got some of the finest Brit Labs out there that are on the market today. You can go to his website at britlabs.com and get in contact with him there.
Buy you a pet and a working dog all together at the same spot. Great package. Logan, who works for us, he's got a dog, Delta, perfect pet, perfect hunting dog. britlabs.com.
That's all you got to do. Also, we're brought to you by Hemp Hill Farm. Getting old, you get some ouchies every once in a while. There's a promo code BHP. It will save you 20% off of checkout. They also have a way you can save 30% on your first order. CBD is the way to go. Hemp Hill Farm is naturally derived CBD. It's all organic. Taking care of all of my growing pains.
Right now, they've got a gummy sale, 20% off plus free shipping.
Can't beat it.
Nope, that's hemphillfarm.com. Farm is spelled PHARM.com. I take a gummy every night for bed. Helps me sleep good. Do not wake up with a hangover. I take one about 10 o'clock. I go to bed about 10:30. Usually about 6 o'clock in the morning, I roll out of bed and I feel fine. One other thing, too. I have plantar fasciitis in both feet, both my feet. I tore both of my Achilles in my younger years. It's a side effect of it. When it does bother me, it doesn't very often. I take the salve or the roll-on and put it on foot. Automatically wipes it out. At Turkey, he brung some to Turkey for us at all. Stood on concrete for 3 straight days. Walked 10,000 steps a day. Oh, knees get a little ouchy and stuff. They got me on new blood pressure medicine. Put that stuff, rub it on my knees and joints. Feel like a million. Feel like a 22-year-old after I do that stuff. Works good.
Hemphillfarm.com. Next, we're brought to you by Lucky Duck. Listen, they've got a lot of products. It's predator season now. You know, people are going after coyotes and bobcats
Shoot
and
them
raccoons.
coons.
You know, Lucky Duck has something for everybody. They've got kennels out there. They're 5-star crash test rated kennels. You can put it in the back of your truck and strap your dog down and not have to worry about what's going to happen to him in the event of an accident. Obviously, everybody knows about their waterfowl line. They've got the best A-frames on the market, the 2x4 blind. They're a one-stop shop. I mean, they've got everything. They've got e-collars, they've got kennels, they've got motion decoys. We ran their rotary system a couple times last year. They've also got some new products that are going to come out later in the spring and summer. So check them out at luckyduck.com. They got a turkey line out there now. I mean, they've got all sorts of stuff. So just head over to luckyduck.com, whatever you're looking for. They have something for you. That is at luckyduck.com. Next, we are brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it is not the duck. They are growing and expanding. They've got some of the best coffee that you'll ever drink. Morning Wood, Suns Up, Guns Up, First Flight. It goes on and on. Missouri Boat Ride Blend. You can subscribe. You can get coffee shipped straight to your door. You can figure out the delivery, how often you need your coffee delivered, and you can save a little bit of money if you subscribe to their loyalty program. DirtyDuckCoffee.com. They've got amazing looking swag. Saw some of it at NWTF. Jay and Buck are great guys. They're on a whole tour with all the hunting shows coming up. So if you want to get your hands on it and try a couple different blends before you buy something, if you have a hunting show, big hunting show coming up, I'm sure they'll be there.
Check them out at dirtyduckcoffee.com. Look for them on the East Coast. They're going to start being in Food Line, grocery stores, a few of them. So anyways, check them out at dirtyduckcoffee.com. Best swag in the market. Great coffee. It's all we drink here at the Big Honker Lodge.
Next, we're brought to you by Shin Gear. My goodness, they had an incredible booth at NWTF. It was packed the entire time. I tried to go by and talk to them and loaded with people. They're kind of tinkering with some of their wader products. They've got the 2S system that's coming out. It's got 2 seams on it instead of 7, I believe. You know, if anything's going to go wrong on a wader, it's usually at the seam. So they're cutting down the number of seams on their new waders. The jack shirt's out. Bibs are out. I wear the bibs every single day here. Waterproof, windproof. That's all you need. Shin Gear, I'm telling you, they are the way to go.
The Scout boot I wear every single day during hunting season. Every day. They got a brand new. They got tons of colors. Fixing to get me some gray ones. I love them. They're great. I'm telling you right now, if you wear anything outside in your garden or nothing, even with shorts, you can put them on. They slip on. They're comfortable. It's the way to go. Shingear.com.
Next, we are brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. Bismuth is the way to go. Copper-plated bismuth. Turkey season's coming up. They've got all of their turkey stuff ready to ship to your door. It's all TSS. I shoot 9s. That's what I shoot. I like a lot of pellets. In my mind, you send a hornet's nest out to them. The flop starts. So They've got War Chief. They've got their Legacy line and waterfowl. They've got Boss Tom. The gear is amazing. Call the shop if you want any of the gear. Phone number is on their website, bossshotshells.com. We're proud to be associated with them.
Yes, On the Road with Boss. Jeff and Andy comes out in March 18th, I believe.
March 18th.
Check them out at bossshotshells.com. Thank you very much.
Next, we're brought to you by Pacific Custom Calls. Pacific Calls in Post Falls, Idaho. Anything you need. Waterfowl, geese, ducks, turkey. They've got a call for it. You know, great guys up there at Pacific Calls. They had a hell of a show at Portland. They're retooling a lot of the stuff. The PCD duck call has undergone a transformation, making it more versatile for more people to get their hands on and feel comfortable with the call. They also have the Turkey Rodeo. It is going to be April 20th, Post Falls, Idaho. They're having a big shindig up there. Bring your turkey, biggest turkey with weight, spurs, beard. Combine those. Biggest turkey will win $1,000 and a belt buckle. So they got a lot of cool things going on with Pacific Calls. Check them out, pacificcustomcalls.com. We have a promo code with them, BHP25, 25% off your order. Not going to find a better deal than that. Next, we're brought to you by Dive Bomb Industries, the leader in silhouette, Silla socks. They are great. That's what we use out here every single day. It's easy to throw out a big spread with Dive Bomb. You can throw out 50 dozen and it's not a big deal. They got a floater line out. They got some full bodies out there now for snow geese. And that's all going on right now. Squad Fest is going to be July 19th and 20th, the 3rd or 4th. I can't remember. I think 4th. So it's coming up. Make plans to be in St. Louis around that time. Great guys and hard workers. They're always ahead of the curve.
Gonna be a good time. Can't wait to see you there. Come by and see us. Andy will sign some titties.
Yeah.
DiveBombIndustries.com.
Next, we're brought to you by the Looking Glass Podcast. Head over to their Patreon account. Get signed up. Logan and Rebel, they put out a hell of a show. They got a bourbon review, and they're just great guys to listen to. The big sultry voice of Logan Pyatt.
The bourbon review is worth it alone. If you're a bourbon drinker, these guys, they talk about it. They know their bourbons. Professional drinkers, basically. Looking Glass Podcast on Patreon.
Next, MLR Graphics. Baseball season's coming up. You're going to need jerseys. MLR Graphics in Breckenridge, Texas can hook you up if you head over to their website, mlrgraphics.com. You can get in contact with them. Whatever you need, shirts, hats, they can do it all there in the great city of Breckenridge, Texas.
They do all of the stuff for the Big Honker Lodge. So anything that's got a Stanfield or a BHP logo on it is done by MLR Graphics. Holler at Michael at mlrgraphics.com.
Next, we are brought to you by Ducks Unlimited. There is not an organization that is doing more on behalf of waterfowl hunters. They are putting ducks back into the sky. They are the leader in wetland conservation. Figure out a way to get involved with them. Either start a chapter, join a chapter. Your money gets put to work to put more ducks into the ecosystem for us.
And they will be having a ducks, I guess it'd be a ducks event next year. There's not one this spring. Right. Spring of 2025, be in Memphis, Tennessee, will be a big convention. Will be a really good time. Look forward to seeing y'all there.
Next, we're brought to you by Alpha Outdoor Specialties, maker of the Stanfield stool. Saved my back all last hunting season. Nice chair, sets out in the A-frame. You can sit up, you can sit back, you can lean back, you can swivel. It's a perfect way to spend a morning in an A-frame. No more bucket butt for me. You can find it at alphaoutdoorspecialties.com along with all their other stuff. They've got a blind caddy. You can keep your coffee up there, your shotgun shells. You can even hang a heater buddy if you need to. They are an innovative company. So Alpha Outdoor Specialties if you need a Stanfield stool or a blind caddy. Next, we're brought to you by Mossberg. Don't sleep on the 940 waterfowl gun. That's what we shoot out here. Oh, everything's oversized. Listen, it's cold out there. Your fingers get cold. You need big things. The charging handle is bigger. The safety's easy to get to. The 940 it's a very, very good gun. It's what we use every single day. In the blind, whenever we get to shoot, they've also got rifles. They've got all sorts of stuff. Competition guns, handguns, whatever you need to take down, you can be shooting a Mossberg. Mossberg.com.
They also are great stewards for the youth. They give us guns every year for the Gold Star hunt, which we will have the first weekend in November or first weekend in October up here. Thank you so much, Mossberg, for reaching out and doing so much for the Gold Star kids in the military. That's mossberg.com.
Last but not least, it is Stanfield Hunting Outfitters. You can come out here and spend time with us. dove season will be here in just a couple short months. We got a couple openings for that.
Yes, I've got some weekday hunts during the weekdays open. I don't have a lot of weekends open. I think I may be able to do one group of 8 on first weekend, which is the 8th, I believe. And then the second weekend, the 15th, I've got one group opening for 8 to 12, and that's it for the weekends. And then weekdays, we can do a private group for 20 people. Anyways, that's at stanfieldhunting.com, 940-658-3172. And if you call, Jeff will answer the phone. If not, leave a message and I'll call you back. Thank y'all for listening to the Big Honker Podcast. We appreciate it. God bless y'all. Get ready. March 18th, you'll start seeing the first series drop on the Road with the Boss, hosted by Jeff and Andy. Thank you. Peace out. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Watch for deer.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by MLR Graphics in Breckenridge, Texas. It's baseball and softball time. Going to get your kids' jerseys to play. MLR Graphics in Breckenridge, Texas is the place to go.
They will hook you up.
Hook you up. They do all of our stuff here. They're going to do my granddaughter's softball team. I'm hoping they're going to do my grandson's t-ball and baseball team. Are they, Coach?
I don't know.
Are you in charge of uniforms?
I'll get there.
Are you excited about coaching baseball again? That's a no. If you have to think that long, that's a no.
No, I mean, it's not something that I would do otherwise. If I didn't have kids, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you ain't seen me coach anything since my kids left.
So I don't know if that's the barometer, then no, I guess not. But you know, it's important to for someone like me to coach. No, for me.
Oh, you need to coach your kids. More people. That's one of the problems. We got many of them, but that's one of the major problems. That's why we're doing a World on Fire podcast, because we can talk about shit that needs to be fixed. And we do not have enough parents involved with their children. I mean, for everything, you do school parties. The same two moms are at everything.
Yeah.
You do coaching Little League, you got one or two guys that are involved. And sadly, and some of the guys listening to this, they fall in this category. They're trying to live their life through their kids. Don't do that.
No, I definitely don't do that.
But there are a lot like that.
No, yeah, no,
a ton of them.
I agree.
And so they're coaching so Junior can be the star of the team. Sometimes Junior sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to handle it all. I mean, really, like, I
never coached any of you three boys so y'all would be the star of a team.
Right.
Ever.
But
I coached it because I wanted to have somebody that kind of knew what the hell they were doing with you guys that cared.
But I always felt like I was fairly decent.
You were one of the better players.
So I don't know how to handle that with Reese because, you know, I mean, I don't want to do D-bat. I don't want to do a whole lot of extra work. I don't want to take them to D-bats and have a professional coach and all that stuff.
We never done that, but
I did go to football camp.
And I spent a lot of time playing ball with you guys in the front yards. All three of you guys.
Right.
I threw baseballs. I played catch all the time.
I guess I need to do more of that.
I played catch with you with football, baseball all the time. When Zach was little, I did the same shit. When Payne was there, I was a catcher all the damn time because he pitched. So all three of you boys, I took my time, but it was a labor of love.
Reese's problem is he wants to play the game. Like, we'll go out to play catch, and he's like, let's play football, Dad. No, hold on a second.
He wants to play a game.
I'm not running around pulling your flag or baseball. You know? We're not doing this.
We're working on skills.
We're just playing catch is all that we're doing. So he's let's play tag football. No.
You know,
that's why I got your little brother here.
Wayne or one of the coaches in high school told me, because your group we had youth football here, and Zach got to play youth football. By the time Payne was here, we didn't have it. We lost kids, and we're still losing kids. We're bleeding kids in these little small towns, and that's sad. But Wayne told me one time, he goes, it sure is nice to have junior high practice first day, and kids know how to put their pads on.
Right, yeah.
But
first couple days just for that.
The older I get, the more I do not like youth football.
Too much brain trauma? Oh, fuck.
The world is different than it was in 1970. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's a place for youth football like there used to be.
Why? Because
you got too many people out there trying to add too much shit to them. I watched a Little League football game on TV last year they had on TV, and the motherfuckers are running audibles and doing this and doing that. And you line up and just run a vanilla offense, and you can whip their ass if you have better athletes.
Right.
But they're putting too much on these kids too young.
I agree. I think that's. I don't think that's special to football. I think that's little dribblers. I think it's Little League baseball, soccer. We don't have soccer here, but parents are just fucking weird. And every one of them thinks that their kid's going to be the next Nolan Ryan or the next Aaron Rodgers or who's a soccer player.
And he's not. I fucking don't know a soccer player.
Or hockey. I mean, hockey's the same way.
Name a hockey player, because I'm the same boat there too.
Gretzky.
Okay. But you're right.
Everybody and Americans have this, and I've talked about it before. If 2's good, 4's better. It's just like training a dog. Ron always used to say you can get a hell of a training session done in 15 minutes if you go out there and you know what you're doing. And sometimes less is more. You know, we've referenced this kid a lot of times. Guy we know, firefighter with Ron, had a son, had a really good shot at being a professional baseball player.
Not being just a professional, but a chance to be a first-round draft pick.
Lefty, they threw 100 balls a day, rain, sleet, snow or shine. Got to his junior, senior year, he said, fuck it, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Burned out.
So you burn your kids out, and I was talking to Miles from Southern Oak Kennel. He was at NWTF. He's also, he's an orthopedic surgeon, PA. And he said...
He was the one talking to that kid at the booth about his arm surgery.
Probably so. But he said parents are pushing their kids too far. They got these RPMs going and their little ligaments. He said, you cannot believe how many Tommy Johns I see. ACLs, MCLs, knees are screwed up on 11, 12, 13-year-old kids. And he's like, it used to not ever be that way. And he's a younger guy, so, you know, he hadn't had a 40-year career or anything, but he's just like, it's ridiculous the amount of 11 and 12-year-olds I see that need Tommy John surgery because they're throwing hard all the freaking time and they never give their arm a break. I'm excited to talk to Bryce Elder about this because any professional athlete that I've ever had the pleasure of talking to, none of them have said that they're going to push their kid to be a professional athlete.
No, you're right, 100%.
Zero.
I know most of my buddies that play Division I football said they wouldn't do it again.
Right. But not one of them, not one professional athlete that I've ever talked to or anybody that's played anything at a high level has said, I'm going to have him out there throwing 100 pitches a day.
That's right.
Not a fucking one. And they played at the highest level.
Yeah, it's the guys that didn't make it to the high level that try to push it.
They push their kid.
Well, back to youth football. You coach youth football. They get all these complex shit. You take your best player and he plays tailback. You take your next best player and he plays tight end. And you take your two best linemen and you seal off one end and you let the kid run for a touchdown every fucking play.
Right.
It's not hard. They make things so much more complex. Baseball. Yeah. They do all this shit in baseball. You get a kid that can throw the ball and throw strikes and you play good defense behind him, you score 5 runs, you'll win.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to make everything so fucking complex because they do it on the pros.
Right.
I know a guy, and I'm going to call him out. I'm not going to say his name. He's got a son that's about 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere in that range over him. The kid has absolutely zero chance of ever playing Division I football. He's not going to be big enough.
Right.
I don't give a shit what his dad does. I don't care what his dad feeds him. Unfortunately, if you want to play football or basketball, if you're not very big, it ain't going to happen. Bottom line. And he does all these drills with him and all this shit all the time. And he goes from one camp to this camp to do that and do that. Look in the mirror at yourself genetically.
Yeah, you're 5'6".
You don't have a chance.
You can't outrun genetics.
No, and nothing you can do is going to change that. He may be a pretty good high school football player, right, but he's never, ever going to go very far. I'll use a kid's name, C.J. Bruce, that played with you. He's a very good athlete.
Yeah.
C.J.'s what, 5'3", 5'4"? 5'6", maybe?
We'll give him 5'6".
Okay, 5'6", weighed about 200 pounds. Was
built
fast,
like a brick shit house.
fast ball player.
Daryl Johnston, but a smaller version.
Small. Now, he could have played Division I. He was a very good catcher in baseball, too.
Yes.
He was a very, very good athlete, and he probably could have played baseball anywhere. He was very, very, very good at it. But he would have never been a football player. He was a good high school football player, would have been really good if it wouldn't hurt a little bit. But he was not built to be
an NFL
fullback. No. And he knew, I mean, his dad knew it, he knew it. I mean, he was a great kid. His dad's a good sized man. His mom is Oriental lady. She weighs about 85 pounds, and she's the reason he didn't get a chance to go nowhere. Probably small, but just the reality of the situation is.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but that's the way it is. But these parents are so overzealous with all of this stuff.
And like anytime, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I am, but like I don't get fucking riled up. Like, the umpire doesn't want to be there any more than anybody else wants to be there.
Did you not get riled up in a basketball game? You didn't think it was some shitty calls the other night?
Well, that's a little bit higher level, but I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to yell at the high school kid that's umping your kid's baseball game?
No, I'm talking about
for a fucking snow cone? That's his payment?
Yeah.
I mean, he don't want it to be there.
Did I ever tell you I umpired when I was 12?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you got yelled at, didn't you? Were they hard on you?
They let us, me and the guy that I dealt with, we called the championship games. So we were pretty good.
Right.
But yeah, I had one guy griped at me one time pretty hard.
But I mean.
But I didn't have thin skin, so it didn't bother me. But it was, but you were right. I was making $10 a game probably.
Right.
I'd get $20. I'd call 2 games at night. I was 12 or 13. I was in junior high.
Yeah.
I'd call 2 nights a game every weekend. And I was really pretty good at it. And I got offered and I didn't want to do it anymore. But it wasn't a bad side gig. There are some terrible guys that umpire though.
Sure.
They're the guys I would some of them other guys that were umpiring were horrible.
But I can't, like Ron, it's always funny here because Ron, he would bitch at the umpire in Little League game. That kid doesn't want to be there. But in his defense, it was older gentlemen that umpired then when I was playing. But now, I mean, it's all high school kids.
Do you remember the old guy that used to do electric work first was a drunk?
Yeah.
He done some umpiring.
Oh, I remember.
And he was not very good at it, but nobody else wanted the job.
No.
And Payne was pitching one time, and the guy, it was a couple of balls that probably weren't balls because Payne very seldom walked anybody, and Dad was just fucking throwing a fit.
Yes.
I was like, Dad.
Loaded up his chair and left.
He did. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, he was fucking hot. And I was like, Dad, that fucking drunk. I said, Dad, nobody else. I said, you want to umpire?
Nope.
No. I said, well, then. I said,
shut the fuck up.
I said, just let him get his job. It's not that big a deal. It's Little League baseball.
Yeah.
And we're going to win anyways. So don't.
Yeah.
But so many people live their dream. There's nothing wrong with living your dream for your kids, but be a part of your kid other than playing that baseball game.
I want him to do, if Reese does want to do this, I'll support him. If Reese or Jameson wants to do this, I'll support him in any way that I possibly can, whether it's anything.
But you don't want to go to D-bats twice a week.
Not at this age. Not at this age. But if I see that there's potential later on and he's 13, 14, 15 years old and, it looks like he's got a future beyond high school, I'll support him however. But yeah, right now, fuck no.
But with whatever he wants.
I want it to be fun at this age.
Whatever he wants to do, you'll support.
Yes.
And that's the way it should be. But you're a good dad because you not only support your kid, you're coaching Little League baseball, which I'm proud of you for doing that. I did that. I think every dad should be involved with their sons doing stuff like this.
We've been out of town, so Reese hasn't signed up. So somebody might have already signed up to coach. So I might have been bumped.
Are you doing that on purpose?
No. We just been out of town and sent the paperwork in.
Right.
It came with them on Friday. We were gone Monday and Tuesday, and
you're leaving again today.
And we're leaving again today.
But but you do other things with your kids. You play video games with your son.
Yeah, whatever they want to do.
You play games with them. Yep. Y'all have movie night. You have your boys involved in church, which is very important. Mm-hmm. Y'all are good parents all the way around. Your mom, your wife does everything at school. Mm-hmm. Your boys leave your house, and if they go to grandparents on either side, they've got grandparents that love them and support them.
Yeah.
They have a good, wholesome life.
Part of me worries about that, though.
What?
Well...
You're worried about your mom?
No. I'm worried about our kids. Because, let me tell you, there's some savages out there. And I don't know if my boys are ready for that.
You mean street smarts?
Yeah, like we were at the Great Wolf Lodge, is what we did. And I mean, fucking hooligans. There's hooligans everywhere.
The kids are worse today than
and
they were
then,
before.
here's my kid's institutionalized, and he's got his hands behind his... He is. He's got his hands behind his back. He's waiting in line like a good little third grader.
He's a good citizen.
And, there's fucking hooligans running around everywhere cutting, and, and my kids are, it's not that, kind of let one or two get in front of them, and then I'm getting pissed off. So it's
Did you say anything?
well, yeah. So, but I want them to step up. You know what I mean? So I don't know if maybe in the long run we've done them a disservice by being.
You think their boys are soft?
50 Cent said, what did he say? I'll find it. But basically, there's nobody at home for me. If I'm going to figure this out, it's going to be on me. There's nobody that I can run to. So I got to fix my problem.
There's a lot of kids like that, too.
There's a lot of kids like that.
There's more kids like that than there are like your kids, sadly, probably.
So, mate, I don't know. I don't know if that's better, though. I don't know what's better here.
Well,
because I do.
Are you looking long term or are you looking short term?
Long term.
Because
I mean, you got to look long term.
The kid that's undisciplined now, if you've got a kid that's 10, 11, 12 years old and he has no discipline in him, it's hard to get that back.
Right.
It's very, 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 very tough. You can take a 6-year-old boy and you can take him out of the worst situation and put him in your house and love him and treat him good. And you can teach him right from wrong and change him. But a 12, 13-year-old kid's tough to do that with.
Yeah.
Never, ever. I never ran from anything because I didn't have nobody to go to. I've always had that where I'm going. Home to get me. Ain't nobody there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've always been in a situation where I'm forced to deal with it myself. So
I
never,
don't know.
ever.
Put yourself in that situation. If you have a problem, do you have someone you can go to?
Yeah.
And you're 38 years old, 37, 36 years old,
36.
36 years old, and you still have someone you can count on if you needed something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't have that no more.
Right. But you did for a long time.
I did. And I didn't, in the last 20 years, I probably haven't had to go to my dad for any, you know what I mean?
Right.
But still there, I knew that if I needed something, I had somebody in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
You get people that don't have anything at a kid. You imagine being a 6-year-old kid and not having somebody like that.
Right.
You know?
But my kid's going to have to compete with those kids. Like, there's a lot of kids that they're going to have to compete with later in life that if there was a piece of bread on the corner, they were fighting for it.
That it's a different world.
So who's going to win that battle between my kid who's had a very good life and had structure and,
So do you want him to start going with that shit now?
Maybe he needs to.
It's tough. That's a tough thing, though. How about when you send your kid off to college?
Right.
Because when you send him off
saying.
to college, it's like, listen, or the military.
Yeah.
Now, when Payne went off the military, he was 20 years old, so I wasn't worried about him. He'd already been to college and worked in the oil field and blah, blah, this and that. So I wasn't worried about poor Payne. I was like, Payne, you get your ass and grow the fuck up and find you a job.
Right.
So I was beyond that. But Reese boy's got a good heart.
He does.
When Reese's 18 years old, and let's say Reese comes to you and says, Dad, I want to be a Marine.
Yeah. I think it'd be a great thing.
I do too, but you're gonna when he leaves to get on that bus to go to boot camp,
sure.
It's gonna break your heart.
Fuck, did I do everything I could have done?
Payne told me when he drove through that gate in South Carolina, he thought, what the hell did I put myself into?
Because I think they had to hold their book bag above their head for like 3 hours or something.
One guy peed in his pants. Payne said the guy screaming and cussing at him, he didn't care. He said,
Yeah, right.
I've been around the lodge the whole time. It wouldn't hurt my feelings, but Payne said there was a lot of kids really had a hard time with it. But
Well, you just got to know in that situation that they're seeing who's going to break.
they're trying to fuck with you.
Of course.
But the 18-year-old kid that's a hard kid off the streets that's never had any discipline, that's hard for him because then he has to
right.
conform to society finally.
Yeah.
I think every kid in our country should have to go to the military for 2 years. Every kid should go for 2 years. I don't give a fuck if you're going to Harvard. I don't care if you're going to Vernon Junior College. I don't care if you're going to work for the state. Whatever it is, I think when you graduate high school, you should, boys and girls should go to the military for 2 years. 2 single years would teach you some discipline, and you would learn the word no. Because that's the biggest thing our society deals with now is these kids don't hear no. Mm-hmm. You got a group of kids that hear we can't afford that. No, we can't afford that. Blah blah blah. I was one of those kids. Mm-hmm. I didn't even ask for shit when I was in much because I knew that we didn't have the money for it. You know, I'm not talking about eating something to eat or something. I'm just talking about the average. I wasn't going home and saying, "Mom, I want a new Atari."
Right.
Can you buy one tomorrow? Well, no, we didn't have that kind of money. But the kids that don't hear no ever. Mm-hmm. And that's not a good thing. Mm-mm. Or these kids that walk around with a $1,200 iPhone and a $300 pair of Nikes, and they live off. Every one of their meals comes off of a government card.
Right.
These parents aren't teaching these kids anything.
No, nothing good in the
There's always a safety net. You don't worry about it. Somebody will take care of it, right. or we're going to do a GoFundMe. Oh, you need a dress for prom? Okay, let's do a GoFundMe.
And I think that's why sports is important. I mean, parents can go too far, but I think that every kid should be in sports because you're going to learn adversity. You're going to learn the sometimes you're going to lose. I mean, that's the bottom line. You're going to lose. It's no matter if you're the best or whatever, it's going to happen. There's going to come a time where it's just not going to be your day. Sometimes you were prepared and shit just happens. So sports is it's a good early lesson for a lot of kids.
You know, Kyler Murray never lost in high school.
Really?
3 years, 3 state championships.
He's made it up for it in the pros.
And, you know, Johnny Manziel came out against A&M in the way they did Kyler Murray.
How?
He was not happy with the way they, Kyler Murray went to A&M when
I didn't know that.
I think Kevin Sumlin was the coach then, and then he left and went to OU.
Mm-hmm.
But he went to A&M first.
Right.
I don't think Kyler Murray's a very good pro quarterback. I think he's a very good athlete. There's no doubt he's a great athlete. He was drafted first-round draft pick in both the NFL and MLB. And he comes from great genetics. His dad was a hell of a college quarterback. His uncle played shortstop at UT. I don't think he's ever going to be a great NFL quarterback, but he starts in the NFL. There's only 32 jobs, and he's got one of them jobs. He's making $40 million a year, so I'm a fat ass in Knox City.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot more than I ever had. But he went to A&M, but he never lost in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you go somewhere and you compete and you go from being a big stud to nothing. You're just, you got to learn you got to have some self-discipline, and you're going to have some drive in you.
Got to get that dog in you.
But a lot of these guys have never had any kind of what's the word I'm looking for, I guess? Any adversity in their whole life.
Yeah.
They've had their ass kissed since they were 13, 14 years old because they could play football or basketball. LeBron James, a guy I'm not a big fan of, no doubt one of the greatest athletes in the history of mankind. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, debatably, could be the best basketball player ever, could be third behind Jordan and Kobe, depending on who you're talking to, but one of the greatest basketball players ever, just like Tom Brady is. I mean, it's never going to be debatable. He's that good. But he went from high school to pro basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And really has never, ever not been great at what he done.
Right.
There's very few LeBron Jameses in the world.
There's freaks out there. I was just talking about Reese.
No, but the average
kid can learn self-discipline, can learn teamwork, can learn just sometimes shit just does not break your way.
No, they need that. That's what I'm saying. There's very few LeBron Jameses out there that never, ever struggled.
Mm-hmm.
There's more kids that you don't know of.
Yeah.
But you got to learn.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can shelter them. I mean, but you also... Why do you want to expose your kids to all that shit? I mean, I understand
he's going to have to compete with them at some point.
Competing and being he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He read scripture to us on Christmas.
Well, I understand
those kids are very rare to come by. He's a treasure. He is. Jameson's not going to be like that.
Probably not. But Jameson's got a really good heart too.
He does, but he's got a lot of dog in him. A lot more dog.
That's that second kid.
There's a lot to that.
Yeah.
But. He's going to be a good kid, but you can't you can't want your kid to be rotten just because he's going to be around some other rotten apples in life. There's nothing wrong with him preparing him for, I think jiu-jitsu is a good thing for kids.
We're going to do that for sure.
The problem I worry about though is not some motherfucker wanting to fight him; it's somebody wanting to shoot him.
Well, I mean, he's got to at least have the tools when he goes out there.
Let's say Reese goes to Liberty University.
Don't know where it is, but let's say he's there.
It's a Christian school in Tennessee.
Okay. He's in Tennessee now.
Okay, so he's going, I think it's in Tennessee. Anyways, it's somewhere in the Southeast. He goes to school there. And he's around other Christians. It's a Christian school. So he's going to be around a lot of kids his age. Goes to parties, does all that thing. They freaking read the Bible instead of doing beer shots, whatever they do at Liberty University.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that setting, he probably is going to fit right in.
Right.
But let's say he goes to school at Boston College or Harvard or Texas Tech. Well, if you go to Texas Tech, you went to Texas Tech,
mm-hmm.
You better have some street smarts because there's going to be some shit going on. You're going to be at parties.
Yeah.
There's going to be some guy snorting methamphetamines off some chick's ass while you're there.
With fentanyl in it now.
Yeah.
You just got to prepare. You got to be honest with your kids too. Just let them know what's out there at the right age. I'm not going to go sit Reese down and tell him about everything at 9 years old, but there's going to come a time where we got to have a conversation.
Ooh, I did not look forward to that.
Why?
I love the innocence of these kids when they believe in Santa. I know, no, it is. There's no doubt. Time's the biggest robber there is.
I heard something interesting about Santa Claus. You know who made Santa Claus?
I think it was the Germans, wasn't it?
Coca-Cola.
No, Sunbloom?
Coca-Cola.
What do you mean they made Santa Claus? Santa Claus was way before they did it. You don't think that somebody just drew up a cartoon, that Sunbloom guy, and said, hey, because Sunbloom's what you're talking about, right?
I guess whoever's on Coca-Cola.
That's the iconic Santa. It's a painting. So the same old Santa you see everywhere is Sunbloom.
Coke ran into a problem. Everybody drank it, and Coke was a summertime drink. Everybody drank it during the summertime, spring, a little bit in the fall, hardly ever in the wintertime.
I did not know that.
So Coke said, how do we get more people to drink Coca-Cola during the wintertime? Santa Claus. Have it be Santa Claus's favorite drink. He's riding the sleigh around the world, just pounding Coca-Cola, rosy red cheeks to go along with the colors of Coca-Cola.
So what did people drink in the winter a long time ago? Just coffee and tea?
I guess. They wouldn't drink Coca, no sodas.
Huh. It's interesting.
So you can thank Coca-Cola for Santa Claus. Because Kris Kringle...
Whoa, hold on.
They morphed a bunch of things.
So what you can do is you can thank Santa Claus for making people buy Cokes in the wintertime. I don't think you can make Santa Claus because of Coca-Cola.
A long time ago, Christmas was not celebrated like it is today. Easter was. Christmas was not the big Christian holiday. It was Easter.
What year are we talking about now?
I don't know.
Well, let's go. Give me a year if you're going to talk this. In 1930s.
Or 40s.
I disagree.
30s or 40s. I don't know what it was. I didn't read. Whenever they put Santa Claus.
Have you seen Christmas Story?
Whenever they put Santa Claus, it was always Easter was the big Christian holiday that people celebrated.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. It didn't ever happen.
Everybody's born. That's nothing to be go gaga over. Not everybody gets killed and comes back 3 days later.
Look up and see when Santa Claus become.
I'm about to.
I'm going to say it was 1935.
Oh, let's see. 31.
Pretty close.
31. So.
See right there. There was even a scarier clause, but in 1931, Coca-Cola commissioned, what's that guy's name? Hayden Sunbloom. See, I told you. To paint for Santa every time. We used to have a rug like that in our house with the same Santa.
But Kris Kringle was a thief, and he was also a chimney sweep. So he would come in from the chimney, rob your house, go back out the chimney. Chimney was clean, but you wouldn't have shit left in the house.
I did not know that. So Kris Kringle was a chimney sweep and a thief. Did he dress up like Santa?
I don't know. Maybe I can look him up.
Where did we come up with Kris Kringle as Santa Claus in?
We morphed a whole bunch of shit. Kris Kringle history. Maybe we can look that up.
Dutch settlers in the 17th century, the traditional slowly evolved into using this name Santa Claus or Kris Kringle. Those stories and songs, these immigrants produced a figure of a kindly old man who bring gifts to children on Christmas Eve. Don't say anything about him being no thief.
How do you spell thief? I think that's backwards.
Kris Kringle was a car thief by Wesley Willis. I don't think that's the same deal.
That's a song.
Secret Santa stealing game. I think you're barking up there. Kris Kringle's a car thief still. Kris Kringle's a car thief.
All I'm getting is this song. I don't need this song.
Look up the history of Kris Kringle. That would probably be better.
Hang on. It delves into the hidden side of Santa Claus. The story behind Kris Kringle was a car thief was stolen out of possession.
I think you better go up and put the history of Kris Kringle. I had a guy hunt with me years ago, and he was a professor at TCU, and he wrote a book called The History of Santa Claus.
Really?
Yes, and I wish I could find it. I've tried to look it up.
That'd be interesting.
He hunted with me. Jim Kern, Emu, brung him, and I don't know if Bobby Witt and Gino, a couple of the old Ranger players were here then too.
Where it said
you need to get off of that.
I know, but this thing said that it delves into the hidden side of Santa Claus, and that's what I'm looking for here in here, and I'm not finding it. Anyway, Could have just been bullshit I saw on TikTok. You know? The real story behind Santa Claus. CNN, so it's going to be very liberal. Let's see. Was originally created to keep adults, not children, off the naughty list. Being crafty codgers. We duck Santa surveillance. Let's keep scrolling down and see what we see.
Was it Mom telling me about the fruit at Christmas, or was it Jesse?
Jesse. So Jesse's grandma said that they always got fruit for Christmas because it wasn't in season. You couldn't buy it.
I wish I could go back in time to about when I was 8 years old and go back to my house at Christmas time. Just one time, just to see it and to look and to notice the differences between then and now.
Right.
That would really be an enjoy. I would, so many things, of course, you can't do that shit, but just to be neat to go back. That's why I like watching movies made in the 70s, because it reminds me of being a kid, so many different things.
Right. Anyway, I can't find it.
Anyways, back to 50, is that 50 Cent? Is that his
That's
name?
50.
50.
I was going to try to find the TikTok video. That way you could realize that I'm not full of shit. Somebody else, a very smart Jewish sounding guy is the one that said it.
But that makes a lot of sense, though, that they have nowhere to go home to. That's why gangs are so prevalent in some of them big cities, because it's the only place that they get any kind of attention and being part of something.
Well, no, it's the only place that they have a father figure. It's the only place
Shitty
where
fathers.
It's better than no father.
But it's a male. That's what I'm saying. But they feel like they're part of something, and they're part of a family. Even though if you're slinging coke or having to kill somebody to be a part of it, they feel like they're part of it, and somebody's got their back. I don't understand the single mom that's a shitty mom. I'm not talking about a single mom that has to work and is gone a lot because she's trying to do better. But the single mom that don't give two shits. You hear about that? Some woman the other day went to Vegas or something with her boyfriend and left her 3 kids at the house and fucking no food and shit. How do you do shit like that?
Yeah.
And how does a man take some woman? Can you imagine dating some chick like that?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you dating? Oh, Sally down there. Oh, she got 3 kids. She never sees them. Goes out every night, going to bars, blah, blah, blah. Why would you get involved with something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't give a fuck if she looked like Britney Spears when Britney was 22. It's stupid.
Coca-Cola was doing the math on its sales.
This is the guy.
I believe by that point it had already abandoned the cocaine content. It was just cola at that point. But once you name something cocaine cola, how do you ever walk back from that? You know what I mean? It's too good of a name.
He sounds Jewish, doesn't he?
So
Yes.
they noticed
So maybe he's already
people
pissed.
bought Coca-Cola in the summer.
I think he's
A
Russian,
little bit in
though.
the fall, a little bit in
Maybe.
the spring, not in the winter.
Could be a Russian
People
Jew.
didn't think of it as a winter drink. So the Coca-Cola advertisers were like, well, wouldn't it be great if we could somehow trick people or convince people or talk people or coax or whatever, brainwash people into drinking Coca-Cola in the winter too. So here's what Coca-Cola advertisers came up with. They thought, what if we somehow worked Coca-Cola into Christmas? Now, I know what you're thinking. Christmas is such a big deal. Not back then. Back then, Easter was the big deal. Christmas was important. People would go do Mass to commemorate Christ's birth, but everybody's born. The real interesting thing is to be killed, executed, and then come back 2 days later.
You got a good point there.
That's fascinating, which is why people had focused on Easter. So what the Coca-Cola advertisers did was they found a saint who was about to be decanonized, Santa Claus. The Catholic Church was like, he hasn't performed a miracle in a while, let's unemploy him. They grabbed him, they merged him with the story of Saint Nick, and then somebody got inspired. And the inspiration was to merge him with Kris Kringle. Kris Kringle was a Danish thief whose job in the day was a chimney sweep. He could pop his shoulders out and he could fit down a chimney. He would rob your house and then work his way back up, but you'd have a clean chimney. And they merged this together, but they then took St. Nicholas out. He was usually portrayed as a young man and skinny young man in green and brown clothing. They stuck him in Coca-Cola colors, red and white. They even decided to give him some pink in his skin to keep the Coca-Cola colors going. So they made him an old man so he could have white hair. And then they stuck him on the bottle. That's why periodically you'll see Santa Claus on a Coca-Cola bottle or a Coca-Cola can around Christmas time. Because they made him up. And they transformed Christmas. So instead of Christmas being an important event, but not an especially emotional event, an especially involved event, necessarily. I mean, there were nice traditions around it, stockings and maybe a Christmas tree. They turned it into this thing where all of a sudden this mythical being who drinks a lot of Coca-Cola is bringing you presents. I guess that's how he stays.
But it
up
also
so late.
transformed
Kwanzaa.
So
other religions too, because other religions
Coca-Cola
saw
advertisers
Christmas
trying to
and they were
drink more
like,
Coke.
shit, we got to jump on this bandwagon.
what was Santa Claus looking like before 1931?
I don't know.
What was it characterized as?
I don't know.
Because Sunblom had to have an idea from something.
They made it up.
So Santa,
Oh, it was, he said it was St. Nick.
what was Saint Nick look like? He had a beard and stuff though.
Right there, St. Nick.
Okay.
The mission was to merge him with Kris Kringle.
Okay.
I went too far.
They merged
I've
him
got
with
it now.
But
So-
he wore, it said he wore, right here it is.
Red and white.
Young man in
No, he wore
skinny
brown and
young
green.
man in green and brown clothing.
I thought that was
They stuck
Kris
him
Kringle.
in Coca-Cola colors,
That's St. Nick.
Okay.
red and white. They even decided to give.
That's a very interesting. I'd never have.
But maybe this guy's full of shit too, though. So, who knows? Maybe this is AI and it's not
if-
even a real thing.
If this is true, and I'm not denying that it's not true, because there's probably a lot of truth to this, because most stuff does have some truth to it, has to be the biggest marketing deal ever.
Thank Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola had done the stupidest marketing thing ever, and now they did the best marketing thing ever. Do you know what the stupidest thing they ever did was?
Coke 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
They took the number one selling soda in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That was iconic, and everybody liked and did it. And some dumbass sitting at a deal says, I got this great idea.
Make Coke 2.
We're going to make Coke, get rid of the old stuff and get new stuff.
Did they totally get rid of the old stuff? Or you?
Yes.
Oh, they went balls deep, huh?
They went, yeah, Coke. The new Coke. The new Coke. And it tastes
Yeah.
like shit.
I never had new Coke.
And you could still buy it. I don't know. Because then after 3 to 6 months, I went to school with a girl that was a Coke fiend, I guess, because she wanted us to sign this. I mean, I was a senior in high school or junior. It was my junior, senior years when this happened. And they signed a petition to bring back the old Coke.
I remember that.
And no, you don't. You
No, I
weren't
don't.
even
I
born.
remember hearing about
Okay,
it.
I was like, you weren't even bored. So,
Right.
anyways, I remember signing this damn thing. I didn't
like
think
this
much
little
of it.
spinny thing with my hips.
Okay, to do that.
And then what happened is they've come back and brought back Coke Classic.
Right.
So you could either buy the regular Coke, the new Coke, or you could buy Coke Classic.
Well, I think that's still what it is, isn't it? If you look, doesn't it say Coke Classic on it today?
Probably so, but I don't think they sell any of the
Right.
new Coke. They may, I don't know, but who comes up with something stupid like that? That would be like Kentucky Fried Chicken doing away with fucking fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or go to McDonald's and we don't do hamburgers no more. Now we're all going to do all tofu burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Not because the woke generation tells you need to be eating a third world fucking piece of meat.
I was gonna see what Santa Claus was before Sunbloom.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
What is it?
Sunbloom.
Hadn't-
SUNDBLOM.
Santa was depicted as everything from a tall, gaunt man to a spooky-looking elf.
That's very interesting. So Sunbloom changed the whole deal. I just thought he had the most famous Santa Claus, the iconic one that everybody loved. I did not realize that's really interesting.
Maybe this will have some pictures.
See, even there it kind of had, so I could see where Sunbloom would get
But he was wearing green and brown.
yeah, that part I understand that he changed to red and white, but I can.
There's Saint Nick, the original, and that was in 1924. 17th century. He's right there. So I mean, yeah, it's not that far of a stretch.
It's a very interesting Very, very interesting story that I've never heard of. Now that I hear this, I will hear this story 10 times in the next year.
Right. So there's 1864. There's a Santa Claus. Looks green, but still had a beard.
And a sack. And then there's a Santa Claus that looks kind of like the Santa we're talking about now to a degree. And that was in...
So there, we're getting closer. And then there he is. So he's there even... He was wearing red and white right there.
In the 1900s.
1902.
Sunbloom just kind of classed it up and
Tweaked
made it.
Yeah.
Well, there's an go up Japanese.
1918. 1918. He's kind of got that traditional look.
Okay, that was a very interesting deal though. It was a good history lesson.
You're welcome. Every once in a while I come off the top rope.
What'd you think about Illinois taking Trump off the ballot? Did you see that?
Did they?
Yep, took him off the ballot yesterday.
Just for the primaries?
They said they're going to take him off all ballots. Which he ain't going to Illinois anyways, fucking liberal fucking state. I feel sorry for the people in Illinois. One guy told me, I met a police officer while we were in, where did we just go to? Turkey. And he's a podcast guy, and he's going to listen to this. I'm trying to have him on. He's going to talk to his superior, see if he can be on here. He's a cop outside of Chicago, and said he lives in the first county south of Chicago that's a red county. Mm-hmm. And he said, I laugh my ass off every time I see them buses full of illegals going into Chicago.
Just going north.
Cracks me up. He's like, hell yeah, way to go, Texas. Anyways, yeah, they took him off the deal there for something he'd never been arrested for. This Trump stuff is such bullshit that the fine in New York for breaking the law, and he didn't even break a law. There's not one victim. It's a victimless crime. Name another victimless crime. Can you think of a victimless crime?
What are we talking about here?
They're saying that he did not. First of all, one judge says Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million. I don't have no money. I can come up with $18 million in 30 minutes to buy that place if he wants to sell it.
Right.
It's so undervalued at $18 million. They said he undervalued his property or overvalued property to borrow money from a bank. The bank does not loan you money unless they do their background check.
Right.
The bank was happy. He paid off his note. They were happy. He's happy. But then the attorney general says, oh, no, that's fraudulent. He claimed it. They fined him $350 million for this shit.
Yeah. But they said he's going to get it all back because he's about to.
He hasn't paid them
yet. Is he about to sell Truth? Because they valued that at like something in the billions.
It don't matter though. It's still his money. He shouldn't have to pay a fine. It's the stupidest shit ever. He had to put up $100 million yesterday, I think.
Really?
But it's a victimless crime. Nobody was hurt by this. The people he borrowed money from is a bank. He paid them back in full plus their interest. Mm-hmm. Nobody's hurt by this.
Yeah.
The banks, big people, they loaned him the money knowing damn well what it was worth and valued at. I wouldn't do business in New York State if you paid me right now.
But you don't think that he could have gotten a banker that he liked and was like, hey,
if a bank,
this is what it's going to be.
He paid the note off.
I understand that.
The guy, I saw a guy on TV that's a big real estate, one of the Shark Tank guys, the bald-headed guy.
Yeah.
He said it's bullshit. He goes, every person does that.
What every real estate developer does.
Every one of them does. He goes, you going to arrest every one of them for that stuff? No, they only want to go with one guy because it's a political deal. Like Trump said the other day, he goes, if I wasn't for running for president, they wouldn't even be jacking with me.
Right.
It's all about politics. They can't beat him, so they're going to try to force him off the ballot. Now Illinois comes in and does this. Again, he hadn't got convicted of one thing on January 6th. Mm-hmm. Not one thing. If you want to arrest somebody, arrest Nancy Pelosi. Mm-hmm. She was in charge of all that shit. She knew what was going on. They had a film crew there. It's all staged. Everyone knows all this shit was.
Yeah.
I saw where Texas is building their own border wall now.
Really?
Yeah, we have to. I have people, every time I go somewhere, people are like, is this bad on the border as we hear? No, it's worse. Mm-hmm. It's a shithole down there.
Where are they going to get the funds?
Texas has a lot of money.
Well, I agree with that.
We're like in the blue in the billions. Lots of money. We could sell some of our gold. Gold's up over $2,000 an ounce.
I don't have gold. I have silver.
I said they can sell some of
Oh.
We have a lot of gold.
Well, when you said we, I thought you meant.
No, I meant we as Texans.
Right.
Thank God we're Texans. But
where do we get the gold from?
I don't know. I didn't look it up and see. I think Texas is the biggest gold holder outside of the federal government. Also had read before that it was in a vault somewhere and under one of the World Trade Centers.
Oh.
So who knows?
That's an interesting thing. If we print money, We go to jail. You and me. It's counterfeit. Can't do that. No matter if you can't pay your bills or whatever, you know, if you need a little bit more money.
But you're saying it's okay for the federal government.
Federal government, they fucking print all they want to pay their shit.
I used to get that in town when I was mayor all the time. It's like, well, can we put this in or do that? We don't have the funds for it. Well, why not?
Right.
Well, because we can't print money like the federal government does.
Right.
And also, they got this really weird deal that as a city, if you don't have a balanced budget, you can go to jail for that shit. But our federal government don't have that rule.
So the city, it cannot adopt a negative deficit budget?
Well, you could if you had to, but you're not supposed to. No, you have to stay within your budget. And you have to turn it in every year.
Well, I understand that, but I didn't know if you could run on a deficit.
Who's going to pay for it?
You could do a bond, though, couldn't you?
You can. We had a guy
But
bitch.
your taxes go up.
Yeah, we had a guy bitch one time at us because I made a comment. We had a city meeting, like a chamber banquet or something. And I was speaking, and I said, if our federal government was ran the way our city is by our city administrator, which was Barbara or Sam at the time, I said we would be better off as a nation because we stay within our budget. It's kind of, why can't we? We got all this damn money more than the federal government. Why can't we fix the streets? Well, because we can't print money like the federal government. Right. If you think the federal government's got a lot of money, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Federal government's just got a big credit card.
Mm-hmm. And it's tax season, too.
I'm so tired. We are going to get to a point if we don't have this November is every election is the most critical election in your lifetime. In my lifetime, this is the most critical.
Certainly feels that way.
Because if we lose, if the Democrats find a way to cheat enough to win this thing, the United States of America will not be what it is now. And it's already going shit. Look at how bad it's gotten the last 3 years. We are living in Obama's third term. He hates America, and it's showing day in and day out how bad it is. But a loaf of bread will be $10-12 if he gets I mean, if Joe Biden gets, if you vote for Joe Biden, you're a fucking idiot. That's all I can say. If your mom votes for Joe Biden, she's an idiot. There's just no way that anything in this country is good with him right now. We've got to get control. People need to quit paying taxes.
Right.
Pay your county taxes. Pay your local and your state taxes. I wouldn't send the federal government a fucking dime no more.
I saw this video of Biden earlier today, and this must have been 2008, 2012. It is a stark difference in this man and the guy that we have now.
Yeah, because that man could think he hated.
Barack Obama ain't taking my shotguns, so don't buy that malarkey. Don't buy that malarkey. They're gonna start peddling that to you. I got two. If he tries to fool with my Beretta, he's got a problem. I like that little over and under. You know, I'm not bad with it.
But I mean, you know, you take out whatever he said. You look at the way that he said it, and the energy that he had, and the fire that he had. And I mean, he was
my age then, though.
No.
How old is he now?
70. Is he 78?
I turned 56 today.
Right.
That was in 2008. That was 15 years ago.
How old is he?
I would be 71 in 15 years.
So
he's
5 years older than you.
Yeah,
roughly.
yeah. But still, in 5 years, you'd think you have the faculties to act that way.
Right.
I tell people that all the time about Joe Biden. I don't like Joe Biden, but the Joe Biden you're seeing right now as president,
81. He's 81.
is not the Joe Biden that was a politician for all them years.
Right.
As big a piece of shit as he was on some of the things he did,
right.
He had some fire and he wasn't a dumb man.
Right.
The guy you got now is like dealing with my fucking grandpa with dementia at 97 years old.
But I mean, I saw that video, and I never knew Joe Biden before Obama, and that even when Obama was president, I was in college and I wasn't really paying attention. So you never hear from the VP ever. In a, even when you're a college kid, I don't give a fuck.
That guy,
so I never heard Joe Biden speak until the debates with Trump and the last 3 years.
That was in 2008.
Right.
Joe Biden in 2008 would not have an open border.
No.
Joe Biden in 2008 wouldn't be doing all this gun shit.
Right.
Joe Biden in 2008 would not be for all this woke political bullshit. But the Democratic Party knows that's the only way they can stay in control, so they cower down to all this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part of playing politics is fucking WWE wrestling is all it is.
Well, I saw the one clip of Clinton, I guess, talking about securing the border, and they said Trump needs to just put this out there and at the very end say, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message.
That'd be a very good campaign deal.
Because he's talking about, to preserve
America,
our way of life and, make sure that our kids have opportunities. Like, we've got to close the border down. controlled drugs coming across. We have to shut the border down. So they said, just run that. And at the very end, just say, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. It was interesting to see Joe Biden from 15 years ago compare, like now, like you watch him in a press conference and you're just like, what the fuck?
Well, he don't know. He's not even there. He's an empty suit. I don't even know if that's the same Joe Biden that was there in 2008. That might be some fucking actor.
Right.
The guy is out of it. And we have been over and let him, but the Democratic Party owns the media. Every bit of it. I don't give a shit. If you look at the president of NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all them, their kids or somebody work for a politician in Washington, D.C. They're all bought and paid for by the same actors all the time. And people tell me that all the time, they're like, oh, Joe Biden. And I'm like, that son of a bitch ain't making no choice. That's why I told him, I want him to run for president. Don't impeach him. Because then you're going to get some young radical like Gavin Newsom, who for some reason, Gavin Newsom thinks he's done a wonderful job in California. It's a shit show. If California was a business, they would fire him as CEO. Would they not?
Yeah.
I mean, they're bleeding money. Everybody wants to get out. The product they have in California is terrible now, other than the weather.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But we've let these young woke fuckers run the Democratic Party. Before, the Democratic Party kind of used to keep them to the side. They were liberals, but they kept the liberals off to the side. Like crazy Bernie Sanders was just that fucking idiot from New Hampshire or Vermont or wherever he's from. I think it's Vermont. And they would just kind of keep him pushed off the side. Well, then all of a sudden he probably would have been the presidential candidate against Trump last election if the DNC and the deep state wouldn't have went in there and made everybody leave.
Right.
Wouldn't you like to know what old Buttigieg got for walking away?
Yeah. Did Biden run in 16?
No.
He sat that one out.
They were going to give that to Hillary. That was Hillary's election.
Right.
They didn't expect Trump to win. They didn't cheat. They didn't think they had to cheat.
Right. Yeah.
And now they're going to have to really cheat to win this election beyond what they cheated last time. Because a lot of their blue states are turning purple and red pretty fast.
Keep them off the ballot, I guess.
That's one way, because Illinois is one of those places. Those people in Chicago, the black people in inner city Chicago, they've had enough of this shit. They're getting sick of Rodrigo coming in from Honduras, getting all their money in their community centers.
I guess what it's going to come down to is what Michigan, Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania do.
I don't think any of those states in a fair election is even close. I think Trump
I don't
wins.
either, but
Trump got a big check from the Teamsters.
No, but what I'm saying, it's going to depend on what they do as a state if they let him on the ballot.
Yeah, they want to kick him off. Yes, there's no doubt about that.
So just because Illinois does, that's not a big deal because Trump's not going to win that anyway.
No.
That's Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio.
Right now, he's kicked off of Maine.
Not going to win it. Well, I don't know.
Maine's got this fucked up electoral college though, where you get you get 1 point maybe out of it because it's got a jacked up deal. Maine, Illinois, and there's one other state like Oregon or something that he ain't gonna fucking win. They're too busy injecting themselves with semen and fucking methamphetamines, I guess. But it's in our world. You grow up your whole life knowing that America is about. You're innocent until proven guilty. You're going to get a speedy and fair and partial trial. And then we see what they do to a guy that's the most powerful man in the world. And you realize how ill they could do shit to. Can you imagine what they do to us if they want to?
Oh, yeah.
Colorado, Illinois, and Maine.
It's not going to let us look at it.
It's what it was. It was Colorado, Illinois, and Maine. I think Colorado got reversed or is about to be reversed because he could win Colorado.
Right.
You know?
I was hoping there was a list of states that were keeping them off.
And you know, Colorado's got Denver's one of the fastest growing communities in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody wants to live in Denver. I could understand wanting to live in the mountains west of Denver, but fucking Denver is not the prettiest place in the world.
But so this right here, is the Supreme Court going to null all this?
Well, they're going to hear they're going to hear something about him next week.
Supreme Court signals unlikely to let Colorado kick Trump off.
Yeah, I don't think that happens.
But if that happens in Colorado, how's Illinois or any other state going to be able to?
It's a federal election.
Right.
I think what's funny is Nevada took him off the ballot on their primary.
And Haley still lost.
And she still lost. She is a fucking sellout to country. She's like George W. Bush. She will go down as one of the most despised people in this country when this is all said and done.
So my question is, can you kick him off of the primaries because that ran at the state level? Even though it's gearing up for a federal election?
I think the state, yes, I think there's some of that can be done. But they're just people writing in shit. He's going to win the nomination anyways. It don't matter what happens in Illinois. He's so far ahead right now in the primaries. What's really funny is when the Democrats come out and Trump or Biden won another state, he's 5-0. There's nobody else on the fucking ballot. He gets one vote, he's going to win.
How does it work? I don't remember from 2016 or whatever. The delegates go and they vote for who they want?
The delegates from each state will go to a convention.
Right.
Tony, I wish he was here because he's actually really knows all this.
In July or sometime in the summer.
July and August, they'll have a convention.
Republican National Convention.
And they'll have get there, and the delegates will get up there and they'll say, I'm from the great state of Louisiana, and we are putting our ballot or our delegates with Donald J. Trump.
So if South Carolina had gone to Haley, the delegates from South Carolina would say, we're going Haley?
We're going to go Haley. Where they can switch and go to someone else. They usually all switch to whoever wins the...
Oh.
Is usually how it works. They can have a convention of states even where all the states get together and can change the whole voting process. And I don't know how that goes either. The state of Nevada had more write-ins. This is one of the funny things. If this was a true litmus test and it was true analytics and you were going to use true numbers, we would have never had Joe Biden as president anyways, because he wouldn't have gotten 100% of the mail-in ballots, and he wouldn't have won where the down ballot people all won as Republicans and then he won as president. That shit wouldn't have happened. Those people, you can't tell me there's that many people in Arizona that wanted to elect a Republican lieutenant governor, but they wanted to have Biden as president. So if you look at the numbers right now on all as a litmus on this, you'll see that Biden's numbers are way down on people that are coming out to vote. And it's a primary election. Nobody really gives two shits. Trump's getting a whole lot more votes. A lot of the votes that are going to Nikki Haley are Democrats that are actually just voting for. Because I was going to vote for Barack Obama the first time he ran against Hillary.
I voted for Bernie Sanders
instead of Hillary
in 2020.
Same type deal to try to dissuade the deal.
Which I don't know if that's legal. Somebody was saying that's not legal.
You can in a primary, but you only vote one way. You only vote Republican or Democrat. You can't vote both sides.
Well,
it's only illegal if a Republican does it.
What do you mean?
Well, if we do something wrong, it's illegal. But if Democrats have 20 dead people vote, it's legal.
No, but I heard somebody say that it was illegal. But I'm not. I don't think I'm a registered Republican.
I'm not.
So I mean, like if Kennedy was on the Democratic ballot and I wanted to vote for him, I mean, I don't see what would be illegal about that in the primary.
You could vote independent.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying I was using like in 2020 I voted for Bernie when Texas had their 2020, when it was him and Hillary, I voted for Bernie. Try to get Bernie in there.
No, in 2020 it would have been him and Biden. 2016 it was Bernie or Hillary.
Okay.
And Bernie was getting a lot of traction.
Well, no, because I voted for Trump in the 2016 primary because Trump was still going on with Cruz. When did I vote for Bernie?
Maybe 2020 then. When it was him or Biden.
Yeah. When it was him and Biden.
But he'd already dropped out of the race by then, because when Super Tuesday came, everybody bailed out so he could get this nomination.
I know I voted for Democrat. I know I voted on the Democratic ballot because when I said it, the ladies looked at me like, "What? What are you doing?"
We were somewhere, and I listened to the Democratic debate while we were driving one night, and I think we were in Florida or somewhere, and I was listening to it, and they were mopping the floor with Biden. Biden was not even someone, I thought it was going to be Gay Pete. I really did. I thought Gay Pete's going to end up coming out and stealing this deal, that he's going to get beat. And I told Michelle, I said, the Democrats have already given up this. They know they can't beat Trump anyways.
Yeah.
Well, they got all these guys, they all just mysteriously drop out one day. That's what I'm saying. Bernie Sanders is a nutless fucker.
Yeah.
He had a really good chance to be the Democratic nominee. They just couldn't cheat enough to help him become the president.
Maybe he didn't really want it. You ever think of that? Maybe that was just like lip service.
Why would he run against Hillary like he did, though?
I don't know.
You know when I knew he had no balls is when they come up and asked about the emails. He goes, I don't want to talk about the emails and shit. You're running against her for president. You should be fucking slandering her on everything.
But that's
that she's
what I mean.
Ever done.
Maybe he didn't really want it. Maybe he just was always kind of this fringe guy that was going to say all these crazy things and kind of rally the 23-year-old, kid that's living in his parents' basement or, college kid or whatever. And maybe when he saw his numbers going up, he was like, fuck this. This is way above my pay grade.
There was a lady in town.
Like you said, it's WWE.
Yeah, there was a lady in town that worked at the grocery store, and she was a big Democrat. So me and her used to have conversations, and it never turned out really nice. And so when Hillary was getting started, and Bernie was really starting to make his move, because she was all about Hillary. Oh, I'm good with her, blah, blah. I said, well, what about if it's Bernie that's the candidate? Are you going to vote for Bernie? Love old Bernie here. I said, how can you love two people that are completely different things? I said, so basically you just want to vote Democrat because your grandparents were a Democrat.
Right.
And that's all it was. It wasn't about smarts. I'm telling you right now, if Donald Trump, if Nikki Haley is the Republican candidate, I won't vote. I'm not voting for her.
I'll vote, but it'll be for Kennedy.
I'm not going to vote for her.
No.
I have no use to vote for her ass. There's nothing she did. If Kennedy was on the ballot as a Republican, I would vote for Kennedy. But I'm not voting for Nikki Haley. I would vote for Ted Cruz. I like what Ted Cruz stands for. If Jeb Bush was running, no. Jeb Bush defended Donald Trump the other day, too.
Good for him.
He come out and said, he goes, this is complete bullshit what's going on in New York.
Right.
And he goes, here's a man that I have no respect for. He didn't say anything nice about Trump.
Still holding that
But he
one.
said, you know.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I think what was supposed to happen, I think he was supposed to lose in 2016, and then they was going to let Jeb Bush be president in 2020. I think they had it all scripted out, and Trump blew that all up by the water.
WWE. Did you see where Vince McMahon, I guess Vince McMahon's in a shitload of trouble.
Over sexual assault or sex trafficking?
Both, I think.
I don't understand all the sex trafficking.
I don't get it either. But he stepped down.
I saw that, but hell, he's fucking 70-something years old.
Fuck, I think he's older. I think he's in his 80s also.
Oh, really? But I don't. Where all this sex trafficking come from all of a sudden?
Right.
And has it been around and we just didn't know it? I mean, I understand.
78.
I understand how a man can be attracted to an 18 to 25-year-old woman. I get that. But how do you get attracted to a 12-year-old girl?
Right.
And I don't. And it's all these big, powerful men, and I don't, and women and stuff. And I don't see that. And to be as much trafficking as they say that's going around.
Right. I wonder if they're looking into him. I wonder if they're looking into him because he's close to Trump. Or, no, I don't know if he's close to Trump, but, you know, they had that little bit for a while.
Oh, there's no doubt that they're all.
So he's a guy that's close to this other guy. So it's like, hey, we got to look into this.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. None of it does.
McMahon agreed to pay out over $12 million to 4 women in the last 16 years to suppress allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. The SEC and federal prosecutors launched an investigation into his use of company funds to make the payments, and the WWE would be forced to update its earnings statements once it discovered McMahon's hush money payments actually totaled somewhere near $19 million.
Is it a publicly traded company?
I believe so.
Okay. What I don't understand, or what I understand is, and I got no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the fucking hypocrites in Congress that've got a slush fund of our money that they've paid off all the shit they've done.
Right.
How come the big people that's doing all this reporting here don't check into that?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any journalists. If you come up to me right now and you said, what do you do? Oh, I'm a reporter for ABC News. I thought, well, you're a fucking schmuck. You know, I don't give a shit if you're Walter Cronkite. I have no respect for you because you don't do your job.
So I think this is I don't think this has anything to do with the sex trafficking, if that's what it was. But I'm pretty sure it was sex trafficking.
Well, I thought that I had read sex trafficking, but it sounded to me like it's more just sexual.
Oh,
now,
it says he's under investigation, federal investigation surrounding sex trafficking allegations.
What exactly is sex trafficking? Because that is such a broad term these days.
I have no idea. I used to think it was you load kids up in the back of an 18-wheeler and you take them somewhere like on Taken, and then they're sex workers for the rest of their day. Anymore, I don't know. The revelations come after former employees sued McMahon last week, alleging she was a victim of sexual assault and trafficking at WWE, and after his exit from its parent company, TKO.
How was she trafficked?
Maybe going across state lines and having sex. I don't know. I don't know what sex trafficking is.
Okay. When did this happen? This is another issue I have. If you're a woman and you want to say that one of these wealthy old men fucking touched your titty or did something to you in 1997, I ain't got no use for that shit. Why didn't you come out in 1997 and say something?
Yeah.
You know, it's 2023 now, and you're going to do something that happened to you 26 years ago? You know? And the whole thing, a lot of like this stuff with Kavanaugh, all that shit he went through, he didn't even do anything wrong. In Trump's lawsuit with that lady that said he raped her, but she couldn't remember where it was. If someone raped your ass, if I got raped by some dude, I'd know exactly when the fuck it happened, wouldn't you?
It would stick out in my mind.
Yeah, but I just don't know when it happened. How do you not fucking know if it's such a horrible thing to you? They need a law that if you're a woman and you falsely accuse something of somebody, you should be the same penalty that they were going to have if they done it.
Agree.
Because we went through all that shit with the Duke lacrosse players and the black stripper that went to that party.
Buffalo Bills punter.
Yeah, and now he won the lottery. He's with the Chiefs now. They just signed him.
Oh, they did?
Yep, just this
good.
week. But yeah, that same kind of shit. If you're a woman and you make up this stuff, you're as bad as the guy is that done this stuff.
Grant, who said she was offered $3 million to keep her alleged relationship with man quiet, filed a lawsuit in Connecticut last Thursday alleging he pushed her to have a sexual relationship with him. The lawsuit says he trafficked her to others within the organization and sexually assaulted her. So maybe acting like a pimp.
Well, hold on here. He also, I read a deal about pictures. He shared
right
and shared explicit photos of her with fellow employees and wrestlers. Who took the pictures?
Yeah, but if she takes the pictures and sends it to him, that's something different.
Hold on, right there.
I know where you're going
If
with
she's
this.
sending naked pictures to him and stuff,
Yes.
so
It's not that innocent.
fuck no. She knew what she was getting into. Now, did he trade her off as he trafficked her? So did he say, hey, Bob, you need to knock a little piece off of what's her name? She's a lot of fun to go with. And he goes and gets her drunk and they have a good time together.
Right.
That's not trafficking. Trafficking is like you said, if you's like, listen, you have to go have sex with Bill over there.
Right. Maybe that's what he did. But
Well, if he did that, but still, she was a willing accomplice on this shit because he had
with him,
money.
but not with the others, maybe.
Well, she took his $3 million as hush money.
I don't know if she did or not. She said she was offered $3 million. Didn't say she took it.
Hold on, there's another second. In the summer of 2022, WWE's board investigated a series of hush money payments made by McMahon to a woman accused him of sexual misconduct, including a $7.5 million deal with a wrestler who said he coerced her into oral sex. If you're getting $7.5 million to give blowjobs, give them blowjobs, girls.
That's
For
a lot of money.
$7.5 million, what are you doing, Andy?
I still got to say, you suck one dick, you're a cocksucker. So I'll just be poor.
For $7.5 million. See, I can see
I'm
over there.
out.
Those wheels are turning in your head, though. You're like,
I'm out.
but I mean,
I'm
that's
out. A lot of money.
for $7.5 million. She was. There had to come to a dollar agreement. She said, "I'll do that."
Right.
I'm telling you right now, ladies, if you're a single lady out there and someone offers you $7.5 million for it, sign yourself up.
A lot of money.
That'd be the last one you ever have to give the rest of your life.
Yeah, you can retire after this one.
That is just crazy.
He admitted no wrongdoing by agreeing to the settlement. That's another thing. Like, a lot of people take these settlements as a
It's over with.
sign of guilt. Well, he paid him this money, so there's got to be something there. A lot of times, when you got lots of money like that, it's just, let's just throw this at it. It'll go away, and we'll be done with it. It doesn't mean you were guilty. Could mean that you were guilty, 100%.
But if you didn't do it, you're like, fuck that. I ain't paying that bitch shit.
Well, true.
I'm not going to pay it. We'll go to court over this shit. I didn't do a damn thing
Yeah,
wrong.
but there's a lot of times where you're going to lose more than that $7.5 million.
Most people that settle on shit like this were getting their dick sucked.
I agree, but it's not an admission. It's not 100% guilty.
Let me ask you a question. Do you really give a shit if Vince McMahon had a blowjob for $7.5 million? Because I don't.
No.
I don't care if Joe Biden had sex with Dr. Biden when she was 19 years old and babysitting his kids. I really don't give a shit. What I give a shit about is a terrible president he was. If he was a good president and what he done before he was president, I don't really care. Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, I really didn't give a shit that he banged her with a cigar. I didn't.
I was proud of him.
But
It was a good moment in our country.
I don't like the way he sold our country out. But the other things he did, I don't mind. If you're a good president, what you done before you was a president does not matter to me. Just like if you come out here and work for me as a guide, if you do a good job and you do everything you're supposed to do, I don't care what you done before you got here. You know?
Do you feel bad for Monica Lewinsky? Because I don't.
I can't. I have a hard time finding her as much of a victim as
She had an affair with the president.
Yeah, I mean, she knew what she was doing.
I mean,
there's no doubt that he
used his influence, his position of power.
Yeah, but he also, all she had to do was say no and tell somebody. Now, I would be more afraid of Hillary than I would be Bill.
Yeah.
You know. Now, those kids that Bill was at Epstein Island and stuff,
yes,
those kids are victims.
100%.
Monica Lewinsky was 25 years old. She knew what she was doing.
And she was calling she was calling him.
Yeah.
She was seeking him.
Yeah, it wasn't the first one she done.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
And then she
that.
saved the spooge dress.
Did she do that on purpose, or was that just
I don't know.
lazy dry cleaning?
I don't know. I never paid much attention to all of that shit either. I didn't like Bill Clinton because he was a Democrat, and I voted Republican, but I didn't dislike him, and I don't think he was a bad president. I think Obama was a fucking terrible president, and I think Joe Biden said, "Hold my beer and watch this." But I think this is Obama's third term.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter was a terrible president, but he was a good man.
Is he still alive? Did he make it?
Yeah, he's still. I think he's about 98 now.
Having hard times in the nursing home, I saw.
He probably is as good a man as we've ever had as president, as just being a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is a good person. He's just a total dumbass.
He tried hard.
He's too much. You cannot be kind and be president. It's not a kind position. And it's not just president. If you're the mayor of San Francisco, you got to ball up and do something to save your city, because your city's going away real fast. Yeah. And Seattle, Portland, I mean, they're just shitholes. And it's a shame they're just giving it away. And eventually those people are going to rebel, and they're going to stand up and say no.
Oh, he's been in hospice for a year.
Yeah, he's going to die.
Well,
We're all going to die.
But I don't know many people that are in hospice care for a year. Well, they just doping them up with morphine.
Somebody told me one time that 1% of the people get out of hospice. I've never known anybody that ever was in hospice that got out.
No, like it's usually pretty quick. When they call in hospice, like you're making funeral arrangements.
How old is he now? 1924?
99.
99. Yeah, he's not going to get.
Did he fight in the war? Was he a veteran?
I doubt it, but I don't want to say that. Everybody loved his brother, though. Look him up on Wikipedia on the right, and it'll say.
He would have been fighting age, the ripe age of 20.
At 24, he would have been during World War II if he did.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Jimmy was, well, I can't read that.
Naval career.
In the Navy, yep.
46
From
to
46,
53.
so he missed most of it. Did you watch the end of Pacific?
I've not had time.
What a great movie. God almighty, that's a great series. I can't believe I didn't know it was on and made. I argued with Andy. I did not realize it was made in 2010 or 11.
It's an old series.
It was a very, very, very good series. I have hell finding series too. I tried three different ones yesterday. I start them. I watch half of one series. If they don't get me on the first episode, they're going to lose me.
Yeah.
See, that's what Peaky Blinders did. I just could not. I can't get into it, but everybody says it. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to watch it again.
You got to just you got to just give it time. Just give it time. I hate series like that. It's worth it. And I enjoyed the. Well, was that you or me? Who's listening to us?
Siri not available. I don't know. I touched my phone and my laptop went off.
Peaky Blinders is one of the series that is probably in the top 5. Top 5 series ever made is Peaky Blinders.
That's pretty bold. That's pretty bold, Cotton.
I'm telling you, watch it all, start to finish. Realize that, because it's we're setting everything up. They're setting everything up in Peaky Blinders. Thomas Shelby has to build his empire. Starts from nothing. Comes out of the war.
No, whoa. Don't tell me. I'm going to try it again then.
Comes out of the war and, doesn't have a pot to piss in. But he's got a can-do attitude, and he smokes a lot of cigarettes.
He does do that. I noticed that part. Did you watch Hell on Wheels?
Nope.
That's a really good series, but I couldn't watch it the first time either. And Jerry Copeland's like, "Oh, you got to watch it; it's really good." And so I made myself and got into it, and it was a very, very good series.
You got to get. I'm trying to think back because it's been a long time since I watched the whole series, but I enjoy. You get to the later half of season 1 and it starts picking up. When season 2 rolls around, like you're ready, it leaves you on a cliffhanger.
I could go watch it now. I hate watching shows on Netflix or Prime. That's one, and then I got to wait another 9 months for it to come out for the next one because I always forget what happened in the first one.
Right.
What is your favorite series of all times?
Peaky Blinders
is your number 1.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Anytime that I'm editing a podcast late at night, I just put on Peaky Blinders late at night. Because Tom, fucking it's 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. I don't want to be doing it. Thomas Shelby's a fucking grinder. Make shit happen.
Name your top 5 TV series of all time.
Okay. Peaky Blinders is number 1. Number 2 is going to be Rescue Me. Number 3 is going to be Haunting of Hill House. I love that series.
Is that scary?
Yeah, it's very scary.
I can't watch it
but
then.
not so much when you've seen it. It's actually more of a sad story whenever you see the whole ending. So that's 3. I really, really liked The Shield when it was on. It kind of played out.
Well, I need to go watch it.
The Shield is good. Sopranos, I mean, that's obviously up there. So there's 5 right there. I'm trying to think if there's another one that...
My number 1 is The Wire.
I love The Office. I love Seinfeld.
My number 1 is The Wire.
Yeah.
Number easily. Number 2 is Sopranos. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is probably Shameless. I absolutely love that show.
Oh, fuck, The Walking Dead. How did I forget about The Walk? Well...
That's not one of my like.
It kind of got boring towards the end, so I can't put that on there. Like, I enjoyed every bit of Peaky Blinders and the other ones.
My 4th one is probably, I really like Downton Abbey a lot. I like The Crown a bunch too. There's a bunch. Boardwalk Empire, I loved it. I mean, there's a lot of them that I've watched that I really like. I'll tell you one that I liked that Zach got me to watch, and it was funny as shit, was called Lilyhammer. With, what's the guy's name that was in The Sopranos that ran the Bada Bing? Steven Van Zandt. Mm-hmm. He's in it. He's a guy that's running from trouble from the mob, and he goes in there. But I mean, there's all kinds of old series I like. I like Sanford and Son, All in the Family. I like Seinfeld. I used to watch Cheers. Did you watch Mad Men?
No.
Mad Men is
on
actually
Airplane. I want to watch it.
It's actually a really good series. You talking about some guys that were some male chauvinists.
Yeah.
That was a great era to live to be a man.
Yep.
I cannot get into any Westerns at all. Bonanza is about the only Western. Tony finished Gunsmoke the other day. It's like 25 seasons.
Jeez. Zach likes True Detective. It was just okay in my mind.
I've never watched.
The first season with Matthew, I didn't even watch the second.
Did you watch
season.
Lucifer?
No.
Mom and Payne watched that, and I was like, I couldn't get into that.
No, never did. Oh, fuck. They're going to make us start at 100.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that shit. Is this what the best one?
This is just according to Variety magazine.
I was getting oil changed in Mom's vehicle yesterday at the
Ooh, Freaks and Geeks is good.
at the place they fix it, the dealership, and Days of Our Lives are one of those General Hospital, one of them things that same music. I thought, God, this reminds me when I used to go to babysitter when I was a little kid.
MASH. This might just be, I don't think this has anything Netflix.
MASH was way up there.
Yeah.
There's no way. MASH is one of the greatest ones. Sesame Street's ahead of MASH? No, hell no.
Somebody was telling me Succession is really good.
Hold
It's
on,
on
hold
HBO
on.
Max.
Go down a little bit. I want to read what it's about because I need something.
I think Fox was telling me about it. I think it's kind of a little bit kind of like Trump, the Trump family. But he said it was really, really good.
Succession. I will try. I'm gonna watch that then.
Sesame Street's number 12. Wow.
Fuck, it's
Cheers, number 10. Roots, never seen it.
it was okay.
What the fuck?
Mary Tyler Moore.
Seinfeld, The Wire, Sex and the City, not my
not my cup
genre.
of tea.
Breaking Bad, I was not really that.
I liked Better Call Saul a lot more than I did Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad started out really good because it was a pretty interesting story, but it got pretty old pretty fast.
Simpsons, Sopranos, Mad Men, number 1. I Love Lucy.
Ugh. She was a fucking nosy bitch. That's what I got out watching that show when I watched it.
I scrolled too fast. I never saw
Mary
Peaky
Tyler
Blinders.
Moore was a smoke show, though.
Really?
Yeah, I thought she was always really pretty good looking.
But yeah, they said Succession's really good.
I'm going to have to check out Succession then. All in the Family. What a great, great, great show. The Golden Girls, terrible.
No Peaky Blinders on here. 60 Minutes. Game of Thrones was good.
Couldn't get it. I don't like any magical, mysterious shit other than Harry Potter.
Carol Burnett Show. MASH is 24. Well. Looks like Peaky Blinders did not do very well with the people of Variety magazine. Probably too man-oriented.
I think Elaine Bennis, when she was younger, was better looking than any of the chicks on Friends. Even Jennifer Aniston.
No.
I think so. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was a good-looking lady.
You're incorrect.
I don't think so. She's fucking crazy. She's a wealthy. She grew up very, very... I think her dad's a billionaire.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Is Bryce ready for us?
Probably so. I need to check and see. What time is it?
5 minutes after. We're running late.
No, it's 3:30.
Oh. I thought he was 3 o'clock.
Yep. No, I texted him earlier and he said, yep, he'll be ready at 3:30. I can text him and tell him whenever you're ready, we are.
Yeah, do that. And then whenever he says so, we can roll out of here. Rolling Stones. Let's see if my Peaky Blinders does better. Oh, fuck. 99 again.
Oz was a pretty good show.
Never watched it.
It was really good. Orange is the New Black. I watched that one time. Kind of weird, but I watched it. Women in Prison. Kind of weird.
Lesbian.
A lot of lesbians. Lots. Like being at a
That's all there
basketball
is.
game, female basketball game.
I think we might have done this before. Close that out. Can we go to the top 20? Will it let us? Is that clickable? Probably not. Oh, you bitch.
Always doing that shit. Nobody listens to their shit no more, reads it. When's the last time you read a magazine?
Long time.
Yeah.
Yep, to see the top 50, you got to be a Rolling Stone subscriber.
It ain't going to happen.
Nope.
All right, we can get off here. I can get me a glass of hot tea before we go in.
All right. Everybody have a great week.
Lots of prayers to the people in the panhandle of Texas. It is absolutely
3
terrible.
million acres?
Is it that far? It was over 1 million. Our friend Dustin Johnson with Cedar Ridge, he was on Fox News this morning.
Really?
Yeah, very proud of him and all them guys that spent their time and their money to go up there and fight that fire for those people. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It doesn't get the fanfare, and I don't know if fanfare is the right word, that it should for the media, because it's just a brush and sage, and it
Over 1 million, I'm sorry.
hadn't wiped out a bunch of people. But if this same fire was in Tennessee or Kentucky or California, it's all you'd be hearing about right now. There's 1 million acres of burn. They said it was 110 miles long.
Really?
Dustin said today on Fox News that it'd take him an hour to fly from one end of the fire to the other.
That's crazy.
A lot of fire. A lot of good people out there. They've had one death up there. I saw some pictures yesterday that was sent to me by someone up there, and just hundreds of cattle just burned to a crisp dead. It's a horrible, horrible now. I don't know how it started. Nobody said nothing. You know, your Q people think that we did a beam of light from outer space like they did in Hawaii, and except for the blue buildings and stuff, but
3% contained, making it bigger than the size of Rhode Island.
yep.
Becoming the largest blaze in Texas history. Let's see. Now,
An 83-year-old lady from Stinnett died.
It's snowing there now, isn't it?
Well, it's snowing here earlier, so yeah. I told somebody today, I said, there's like, well, it's snowing and raining. I said, yeah, but I said, that fire is so hot and so fast. It's burning, it's drying up stuff before it gets to it anyway. So it dries up fast and it still burns the same. And I don't know that it's not enough rain or snow to help it, I don't think. They had pretty good winds yesterday, but the winds are supposed to pick right back up. I think Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be 30 and 35 mile an hour winds again up there, out of a different direction.
That would help, though, wouldn't it?
Well, it's going to burn shit that ain't been burned yet.
No, if it was north wind, it came south.
It was
didn't it?
blowing west the other day.
Oh.
Now it's blowing north. Now, if you get a south wind, it's going to go back up to where it was.
Yeah, but it wouldn't burn back again.
No. You don't understand. It's went from west to west. Now it's going south. So now, see now if it starts blowing out of the southwest, it's going to go that area that there's like towards basically that area right there around Eric, Oklahoma and stuff. That area. And you get into that, and then that's that big grass country up there where in Oklahoma. A tornado chase up there. There's not a lot of roads. It's that Black Kettle grasslands up there, and it's just there's not a whole lot of towns. The sad thing is those towns are surrounded by all that shit. They were telling people to turn their water sprinklers on in their yards.
Really?
Like where we live at in our little town, it would be really rare for something to happen because we just don't have the brush around the town. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of green wheat and stuff, but those people, a lot of those towns were the trees and stuff right up next to them.
Meteorologists do not expect the precipitation to provide any significant help. Terrible.
I saw how dry it was a couple of weeks ago. We drove up through there. North of Amarillo is just freaking desolate. They hadn't had no rain, and it's a horrible deal. My prayers go out to those people. That's a horrible thing. Losing anything in a fire is bad, and those people losing, those ranchers, they lost their whole. You can't insure those cattle.
No, East Amarillo Complex fire in 2006 burned 900,000 acres. Now this is the biggest one.
It's
still nothing that says.
It's a horrible deal.
But it's all different fires.
Yeah, I mean,
if you look at this map.
Yes, there's 3 or 4 different fires going. I think that far south one is like 30 or 40,000 acres.
What towns did it hit?
Luckily, it hasn't really hit anything. It went around Borger. It's north of Amarillo. It's north of Pampa. It went through, it did go through towns. It went through Canadian, Stinnett, Canadian, Panhandle, Fritch, I think Miami. All those towns lost a bunch of stuff.
Miami had that tornado too, didn't they? Last year?
I can't remember. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're setting the nuclear place Pantex on fire." Pantex, a grass fire, it's all concrete. Ain't gonna get nowhere around it. It may come to the fence, but it ain't gonna danger nothing there.
Boy, if it does, we're fucked.
It's not going to. Concrete don't burn. Concrete does not burn.
Well, what if it gets hot enough that sets off like a nuclear reaction or something?
That's gravel and concrete all around that thing. They ain't gonna hurt nothing there. I mean, it's just like the Empire State Building ain't gonna burn up from grass fire. It's got concrete surrounding it.
You never know.
Plus, just for the Q people out there that listen, because we have some of those people here. We'll just call them people.
You never know, Jeff.
What are the results of setting a bunch of grass and cattle on fire in Texas?
Make beef prices go up. Decrease the hay population.
Well, it damn sure did that because hay prices are going to skyrocket. There won't be no peanut straw next year.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
I hope some of these farmers got all this old hay that they've baled over these years and just up there.
Did you take part in the
waterfowl? Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes. We're supposed to be in Austin on the 28th, I believe.
Who said this?
Your local game warden.
On the 28th?
Yes.
I'm busy that day. Scouting turkeys, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's turkey season. 5 fucking specs.
That's the stupidest shit ever. No one's ever said that biologists are smart.
No.
And there are some really smart ones out there.
I just don't know why we just don't stop at 3. Why are we going to go from 2 to 5? Like,
does our government do anything that makes sense?
Well, here's the deal. Even towards, there were times last year where it was like, fuck, thank God it's only 2. I couldn't have killed a third one for everybody.
I got guys on the coast that are here, they're pissed off because they're done with conservation season. And I understand that. If you're going to hunt them other states, you should be able to hunt them in Texas. Mm-hmm. But they were mad because they were going to go from 20 to 5 birds. Why would that bother you? How often are you going to shoot more than 5 birds per day anyways? If you got 10 guys and you shoot 50 geese, you've had a great day shooting snow geese. And it's not going to turn around hunters.
But if it's conservation season.
No. They want to do it just on the regular season.
Oh, to 5.
Lower what it used to be, 30. When we had 3 goose limit here, they had a 5 bird limit down there, I think.
I'd kind of like that because then maybe I could shoot a limit of snow geese.
Yep.
Hey, we shot 5 snow geese apiece.
Yep. Well, anyways, they're not.
I've never shot 50 snow geese, so I mean, it ain't going to happen, but it could.
Well, even the guys on the coast, though. There's nobody not going to book a hunt. If you're selling hunts to someone that thinks they need to shoot more than 5 birds a day,
right?
That's really not a customer you want because they're only interested in shooting shit. I mean, that's it. They don't care about the hunting. They don't care about the experience. Their deal is how many birds they get killed.
Now, we can shoot 20 of these, right?
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. You know? I have guys ask me all the time, well, what about snow limit's 20? Well, yeah, it ain't going to happen. You know, maybe for the month of November, we'll shoot 20 snow geese. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a great week. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Watch for deer. Check out our great sponsors. Go check out Double T British Kennels. Now is the time. Call Mr. Corey. You need another puppy. You know you do. Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Hemp Hill Farm. Use the promo code BHP. Ducks Unlimited, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls. BHP25 is a promo code for them. Boss Shot Shells and MLR Graphics.
And Mallard Bay.
And Mallard Bay.